this is Nikita. Today, I would like to say about a module integration connecting with backend with Fetch API and exams to consume REST APIs also. What is APIs? That can fetch data from any AI tool that brings the data allocation to site data to user experience also. So that how the module integration is connecting with the backend also. So I will explain each slide by slide. Here we have some powerful types of that models that builds the foundation, the power tool, comparison, and the native power. Let's understand what's the foundation. Then you need to find to fetch with the backend module. We need to can understand what is the API need for data integration. You are taking for example, you are taking a particular data analysis that you need to take some API fetch keys to data integration. So that we need that foundation to express to the model integration backend. And second one is the native power. That's the basic communication between the exploring from fetch API key from one data to another data. So that is nothing but a native power. The power tool is delivering exams for the enhance of the HTTPS. You have know the HTTP methods like put, get, post like that. In these all are the power tools that what's the methods we are using from HTTP. So what's the comparison, the key difference between what are the factors we are involving on the front end part and each and everything. For front end, the part of users sees the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and for the best framework we use React, Angular, like that. For the back end, you know that the part of users doesn't see Node.js, Django, Flask, Spring Boot, etc. So that in backend in this Fetch API key connection, we use HTTP methods like get, post, get, and like that. Get from the users, post for login, get for the products also. That Fetch API. Axios is a library. These Axios is a library making API calls. So that's why we are using Axios here. Then coming to the next slide, what is a REST API? Why need to connect with the backend? REST API, I told that here we use HTTP methods in these get, post, put, and delete. For the backend role, backend nothing in basic projects we do applied the backend like Django, Node.js, Flask, Spring Boot like that. But here we are using the HTTP methods like get, post, put, and the delete options. So why these model integration is used for the login model, dashboard models, and the profile models we need. Login model is sends user names are nothing but passwords to the backend. So dashboard models fetch data from the backend. The what the users are storing the data there. That can data is fetched from the backend is known as dashboard model. And profile model is nothing but updates user details. How to connect with front end with back end using fetch means we have a get request that you have know that the front end is take the local host of 3000 the port number and the back end is nothing but it's taking a 5000 port number in inbuiltly. So that all the responsible of get request, it can fetch data front end with back end using fetch API key. So that the examples we are using here, and coming to the next slide I will explain what is native browser methods for all the HTTP requests. Like built-in power is very important. So no, if directly in modern browsers no installations needed available directly, we can build a power like exactly using the browsers also. So like the JavaScripts we are using in the front end part, each and everything. This model integration, remember, this is very important to make your project structure easy to debug. Is each module can develop independently, helps in large team projects also, make the app scalable. So that's why these module integration that fetch data from the back end is very important based on these 5 steps. So once again, I'm repeating that you can get more understandable of how these module integration is very important in your projects. Like make your project structure easy to debug, easy module can develop independently, helps in large team projects. Like when you're building a low queues number of projects, that can build helps to large team projects scalable also. So that's why you are using this module integration is very important. Next one is, for example, I am taking, moving to the next slide. I told that these Axios is the library where we used in our projects also. This Axios is the library from API call. So that's why we are using. This is also the power tools to enhance the different type of communications we are needing in this integration part. So that too, we have some commands and installations, so complete browser details and each and everything in our daily life. I'm giving how we are fetching each and everything. I will tell you that. First one, taking one real example, you built a weather app. For example, some of the person or your friend or person are building any weather app. First module, we can search a city that can cause a backend part. Second module is show the temperature, get data from backend. That can be also taking a data from backend and we develop that how much temperature. So that the city, a particular city or a particular area is containing today. So that can be represented, that can be taken a data from a backend. Third one is save some favorite cities. For example, we are taking any Hyderabad, the Bangalore and saving our favorite cities. Then we are daily we are updating that. We are seeing how much data, how much temperature and how much cold is there in the weather. So we can approach that by building these backend connections. So examples of REST APIs, testing steps, easy explanation is very important. Then we can understand these all modules. The first thing, what are the modules we are including that? These small modules integrate with the backend using Fetch API and Axios. I told that Axios is the library where we are using on like building the call API calls also. So that we needed here. And coming to the key difference Fetch API versus exams, I told that Fetch API is native and Axios is a library. I have mentioned in that also. For installations, inbuiltly for Fetch API, no installations, but for installations for Axios library, we need a required NPM. So like node JSON processing is a manual dot JSON and it automatically it can be worked for error landing. Manual check for response throws errors to the 4x's 5x's status code. For the interpreters no supported, they will be supported by using a request and response handling also. Like HTTP methods, what we are using there, that can be used in the Axios library. For cancellation requires RProd controller, but built-in support. But cancellation also in Axios, it will be directly supported to fetch data from backend. So that's how the difference between Fetch API and Axios. You need to remember that Fetch API is a native and Axios is a library. It's the basic thing. Then we get some idea on that. The next one is the final summary of this integration tool. First thing is a simple projects we are building a small bundle size also for the native future. For I told that axioms for we need to installation some npm that like node.js is a application that interpreter can futures the behavior across the environment also. The final goal is to reliable, efficient, secure data flow between backend API and your front-end application also. Taking the data from fetch the data from backend and building the front-end application. That would be very easy while you are doing any project based on these fetch APIs or like that. Not only that, first build the backend, then can apply the applications based on a backend. We can develop the front end. It is very simple. So that the simple way. So this is the goal of the integration tool also. So now I have explained. Just now I have explained the brief about these all. Everything, but let's move on to the code. I will explain for these the basic how we need to the what are the commands we are needed to run over here, and I will explain. First we need to install as a fetch we need to install like we have some more node modules. I am having some node modules here, but by installing defaultly I'm installing all the setup each and everything by installing npm install node.js and each and everything. So for backend, we need server.js, right? Here server.js means the backend where we use to fetch data, and I have told that the port numbers here, see the port number is 3000. It will be applied from the front end port number, and we are applying the whole local host, like it would be to send the data, like contact us and all the web pages and each and everything. The port numbers for the backend is 5000. So we are using these expressed applications to create a express application. We need a constant app is equal to express. Then only we use express.json for representing each and everything. So we here we used some HTTP methods, like we see get, uh, post, and listen. Like these all are the HTTP methods where we are fetching from backend the data which we are fetching from the backend. So these HTTP for the get we are using a welcome. Then when we are running the local page or local host, I will run the command and I will show you. But when we are running the request sends the open to the website, welcome to the home page. Then next, when we click, when we create any website, then we will see about page, login page, contact page, somewhat we can add on that. So that too we are using here some get and post requesting ideas. So while your website will be more secure and safe, we need to give some login credentials also. There we can build some use state and user effect also for using a in front end. We can easily develop for developing these backend, we can easily develop the front end part. So that too is the main goal of these fetching API connections and each and everything is that so that too we are corrected the string operations also, and username and password is very required for the login credentials. Now, when the username and password is entered once, we can directly click into the submit button. It is directly open your website. If you didn't give any login credentials to your website or any backend fetch data from the API connections, you directly all the users can approach directly and see that. But if the user give their credential, we can identify that's how many users are can using this by using their passwords and using their usernames also. We can identify easily. So that's why we are giving to the website for the login credentials, and some packages we are needed here. Some packages, so like version, what are the versions we are using, what are the integrity part you are using here, and the node module have different type of lessons to develop a front end part or the back end fetch from the API connection. So that too we are developing here each and everything so for our project is once we push into the GitHub IDs, we are using that many users can easily access your data and see, and many of the members can directly fork your data and run their projects also. So again they are getting some idea on that. So that's why we are using these all the packages also. So without any delay I will show you how to run this. First we need to install npm install, like a node is installed. You need to check node is installed in your uh, system or not. Here see, there are 16 packages. After installing that, we need to go, while we are ending any backend connection, we need to do node server.js. We need to done node server.js. Then it directly opened, it giving a server link here. We are seeing the local host of 3000 port, and when we are opening that, it welcoming to the home page, and here just I have connected for showing you that. But further we can develop more and directly using the request by using HTTP methods and each and everything. So for that I told that we need definitely a login credentials that user can easily like routes what you are using in it. For the login route we are using post, right? This is a HTTP method. Post means so the routing routes means nothing but when a user can giving a login credentials, when we are building any login page, we need to give for the users and login credentials like username. If you didn't enter your username or any password, it can show that you need to enter your password and username like that. So that's the how routes are working in the login post method. Like we needed, so this is the users and how they are fetching data. I hope that you definitely understood that how we are fetching from data from the backend. So this is the basic information how we are getting data and fetching from the data base and each and everything. For the basic commands I am telling here, first we need to create a project configuration, that we need a command like npm init dash y. So the next, install a server framework, we need to install npm install express. Then fix cross origin issues, like we need to the command what we needed is npm install course. Start the server. These have run that. When we need to start a server, we need to use node server.js. Then it can start the servers and automatically we will get open of our website. So like node server.js is for used for the auto restart. So that's all the commands what we are installing here. Start the backend servers. Like backend servers, we have a local host of port number 5000. We are run with nodemon server.js also. Our install in our project like npm install save dev node mode, like that. Node mode means nothing but node mode restart the server automatically when code changes. Like when you change any code over there, it automatically changes each and everything by using node mode servers.js. So that's why we are using a command on optional but recommended installation of node mode. So this is the minimum startup to run server.js also. So I hope that you definitely understood each and everything. So this is what all about. So module integration, connecting backend with Fetch API and access to consume REST APIs also. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Over to you.